A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a bold statement, Gina Rinehart, Australia's wealthiest individual, has called for the nation to increase its defense spending to a staggering 5% of GDP. At first glance, 5% may not seem significant, but the implications are monumental. Currently, the Australian government allocates just over 2% of its GDP, translating to approximately $55 billion towards defense. This figure is projected to rise to around 2.3% by the end of the decade, equating to about $108 billion in 2035 to 36. This amount would make defense the second largest expenditure in the federal budget, following the Goods and Services Tax, GST, that benefits states and territories. The coalition has proposed an uncosted plan to elevate defense spending to 3%, which would increase the budget to more than $141 billion by the mid-2030s. However, Rinehart's vision of 5% would escalate defense spending to an astronomical $236 billion in 1 year, surpassing the combined costs of the age pension and the National Disability Insurance Scheme, NDIS. To reach this ambitious target from 2030 to 2035 to 36, taxpayers would be burdened with an additional $489.2 billion, a staggering figure considering the total government spending for the current year stands at $777 billion. In the midst of these discussions, Australians gathered at the Shrine of Remembrance in Melbourne to commemorate Anzac Day, a day dedicated to honoring the sacrifices of those who served in the armed forces. Among the attendees was Melburnian Matthew Curren, who shared his experience attending the dawn service for the first time with friends visiting from America. Curren emphasized the importance of showing respect for Australian troops, stating, "What the men and women did in sacrificing for our country and for the world in general is pretty amazing." This year's Anzac Day was marked by an unfortunate incident involving Jacob Hersant, a known white supremacist who attempted to disrupt the dawn service. Victoria Police confirmed they expect to charge Hersant with offensive behavior after he booed the Welcome to Country ceremony. Defense Minister Richard Marles addressed the situation, urging Australians to focus on the sacrifices made by Anzac soldiers rather than the actions of individuals seeking to disrupt the solemn event. He described the actions as deplorable and highlighted the importance of remembering the 103,000 Australians who have made the ultimate sacrifice throughout history. Veteran and Family Services Chief at RSL Victoria, Ben Webb, also spoke at the service, stressing the significance of mental health for veterans, particularly following the Royal Commission into Defence and Veteran Suicide. Webb revealed that 2 veterans had recently taken their lives, underscoring the ongoing struggles many face when transitioning back to civilian life. He shared his own experiences of chronic pain and depression after serving in the Army, emphasizing the need for continued support and advocacy for veterans. In response to the booing incident, Peter Dutton condemned the presence of neo-Nazi ideology in Australia, stating, "Our diggers fought against the Nazis. That this movement of neo-Nazis has any presence in our country at all is just an outrage and a disgrace." Veterans Affairs Minister Matt Keogh labeled the booing as disgraceful, reinforcing the notion that Anzac Day is a time for solemn respect and commemoration. Despite the rain, over 7,000 people attended the dawn service in Sydney, showcasing the resilience of Australians in honoring their veterans. Images from the ceremony depicted crowds gathering at various locations, including DY Beach and Martin Place, as they paid their respects. The Hills District Pipe Band even rehearsed before the service, adding to the atmosphere of remembrance. As the nation grapples with the calls for increased defense spending, it is crucial to balance financial implications with the need for adequate support for veterans and their families. The discussions around defense spending are not merely about numbers. They reflect the values and priorities of a nation committed to honoring its history while ensuring the well-being of those who serve. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.